Welcome to the Dark Horse Paranormal Podcast. I am your host, Chris Carr.
And I am Kristen Johnson, and I'm going to throw this laptop out the window soon.
Yes.
Just wanted to let you guys all know it's already on fire.
It's
so
kind of disposable products these days, laptops.
So I'll get to your comments. Just give me a minute.
Kristen is moderating things and trying to get in there, and the laptop is just basically smoking over here. But happy Thirsty Thursday.
Happy Thirsty Thursday, everyone.
I hope everybody's doing good. Looks like we got some friends out there. Couple of things we wanted to talk about real quick before we bring on our guest, who is amazing, and I'm so psyched. We're psyched.
We're wicked.
He's on. I've got his shirt on.
Yes.
It's Readings by Chris, but a different Chris. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I want to give a birthday shout out to our friend Nathaniel Gillis. Happy birthday, little brother.
Happy birthday, baby bro. We love you.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling a little better. And we wanted to talk a little bit about our adventure at Wilson Castle real quick, too. Last weekend.
It's cluckery, I'll tell you. Cluckery.
Total and utter cluckery. And let me see here. I have something for that. We like cluckery, right?
Yes, we do. It's the word I came up with today.
What the cluck? We had a great time with Shay, Carol, Lori, and Kristen.
Yes.
And we got to move about the castle, and we had a lot of interesting phenomena occur. We used this sort of big, heavy magnet inside of the plastic skull you see behind me. Along with some crystals, and it's kind of a little bit occultish and a little bit of science kind of like put together. And we had some pretty interesting effects, things that were recorded that were just like bananas. I'm still parsing this information, going through it and all, but wanted to give a shout out to Shay, Laurie, and Kristen. Hello, guys, if you're watching. We had a great time.
We really did.
And we do have a couple of clips we could play for you real quick. This one's kind of funny. Speaking of that skull, I was talking about touching the skull, and I got a very interesting response from the spirit box that we're using at the time. So let me play that for you real fast.
Can you touch the skull that's on the floor? His name is Wilson, but you can call yourself whatever you like.
Wait for it. Yeah, so it wasn't the nicest of spirits in Wilson Castle this particular night, this evening. There was a lot of F-bombs dropped, like that one.
Way more than that. Whatever they were. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, a little bit of a dirty ghost out there.
Lots of them.
It was a little angry, a little dirty. Let's see. Just for instance, we got this, and this is a very interesting clip. This happened as soon as I turn on a recorder, and you'll hear the recorder kind of going ballistic. There were waves of EMF. So this idea of using the magnet is to put EMF, like you can put a K2 meter up to that skull behind me, and it'll set it off. But what was happening is it was like taking that energy, like an EM pump, but a quiet one, and amplifying it at different times, like a wave. And our K2s would go off. The recorder was overdriven. There was no change like in the volume or anything to cause this to happen. And it happens periodically, particularly in the first room we started in, but it went on through the night where it would just blow up. So you're going to hear a lot of like recorder noise, and you're going to hear this whispery voice behind it. We'd like your opinions about what it might say. We have some ideas about it, but we'll leave it to you guys.
Headphones is a good thing.
Yeah, headphones is a good idea, but you're probably watching us on your phone or something, so maybe you might not get this, but we'll try it. Did you guys hear that? Do you hear the whispering voice?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And we have examples of this like all through our recordings. I mean, there's this like crazy long EVPs. They're not like class A crystal clear. I mean, there's other noises in there, and the recorder itself is like being driven by the EMF. And it'll come on like that, and then it would go away for a little while, and then it would come back, and then it would be some kind of crazy sentence behind it. And it was like something was trying to break through.
And they apparently did.
And they did. And it was crazy because we also had like 2 different K2 meters, like set away from the skull and all that. And they would get triggered. Like all this stuff was happening simultaneously. So it was really, really interesting investigation overall. And the Wilson Castle is in Proctor, Vermont. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It really is.
It's, a place you would not think of like a castle being in Vermont, right?
Their architecture alone is very so ornate and just absolutely
stunning.
beautiful. It really is.
And like, unlike most, public investigation places like that would be similar, the furnishings are almost all original. So they're so ornate and blown out of the water. I mean, it's just so cool. I also want to just say hi to everybody in the audience. Thank you guys. See your comments and hello. Happy Thursday.
I'm having a hard time with puns, so I'm getting there. Okay.
Yes, the Paralanx.
Yes.
Which we love. Paranormal United Network. It's a fantastic network. If you guys are, on a different media, say like Dark Horse Paranormal, do check out the Paralanx pun because they are awesome. There's a bunch of good shows on there. A couple more quick examples, and we'll bring on Chris because I know you guys are waiting. Now, this one's really interesting. It's about goosebumps, right?
Yes. Lori
was getting goosebumps and says so in this clip. And we have the spirit box running, and the spirit box says goosebumps, and it says it a couple of times. So I'm gonna play that for you real fast.
Goosebumps. Come on. That's what I heard. I heard a female voice. You can hear us now, huh? Or you can communicate. Just stop again and take this off.
No, it's not happening this time.
I'm smoking deception.
No, this is just rough. I got goosebumps again.
Goosebumps. Come on. That's what I heard. I heard a female voice. Goosebumps. You can hear us now, huh? Or you can communicate. Just stop again and take this off.
No, it's not happening this time.
I'm smoking deception.
So that was pretty cool, right? You hear goosebumps several times, and Laurie had goosebumps. So there you go. She mentioned it, and the box repeated it. There's another example of this. Now, we call this parroting. Is that kind of an art term for it?
Yes.
And that's where you say a word, and spirit seems to respond with the same word. It's almost like an echo chamber or something. It's very strange. And the word is maybe in this case. So you're going to hear maybe twice in this maybe clip.
There. Maybe. There. Maybe.
You hear the maybe right after Laurie says maybe. So she's out there. Hey, Laurie, how you doing?
Hi, Lori. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
I'm sure you guys appreciated the little chicken noises we had going on. Apparently Laurie and Kristen had dinner before coming to the show.
The other Kristen.
The other Kristen.
With an I, yes.
Yes. And they had some interesting clucking recipes in there.
I forgot what the name of the restaurant was, the Little Hen or something, but they stopped on the way to Wilson Castle. And then there was a menu in, should I say what?
Oh yeah, what was one of the menu items?
Well, Kristen
we were talking about.
Was talking about, it was called the Loaded Cock. Yeah, and
she said that.
Yeah, she did. And if she's on, yes, thank you so much, because we have not stopped clucking.
Oh, here it is. Larry says it was the Clucking Cafe.
The cluck.
So
That's
we've had a running joke with this what the cluck stuff since Saturday. So yes, you can go to the Clucking Cafe and get yourself a loaded cock.
yeah.
Fantastic. All right, now we've gone to the land of the dirty. It wasn't us, it was the ghosts. Like seriously.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
there's so much stuff. We'll be playing more of that in coming shows as we parse the information for you.
Mhm.
Let's share it with you. Did you want to say?
Oh, I wanted to say a shout out to my cousin Kevin. It's his birthday as well today. Happy birthday, cuz.
Happy birthday.
Eric, please tell him I said that. I know, Eric.
Right on. So let's get to bringing our guest on. His name is Chris Garcia. And again, I've got the shirt. Readings by Chris. He is clairaudient, clairsentient, clairvoyant. He has all the clairs down. He remote views and he's into shamanism. Very interesting guy. He's a friend of ours and he's been on the show before. I'm going to talk to him a little bit about his background. And he does readings right over Facebook Live, which is amazing. He's awesome. So let's bring him on. Hey, buddy.
Hi, sir. I'm happy to be on.
Welcome back.
We're happy to have you.
I
Thank you.
know. Well, I mean, it's been a long time.
It's been a while. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was late last year. It's the last time I think you were on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
we are overdue. How have
Yeah.
you been? What have you been up to? What's
Well-
new in Chris Garcia's world?
Well, Chris Garcia's world. A lot. Well, personally, I mean, I'm doing a lot of course, the same readings as usual. I do a lot of live. I do a lot of walkthroughs. If you catch, my lives on Facebook.
Mhm.
Lately, I have TikTok. So if you don't have TikTok, you'll be seeing that. And if you want to talk about spirit boxes, Chris,
Oh, we love the spare box. What do you got there?
spare
That's
box,
cool.
you take battery. This is phenomenal. This is insane. I don't change the channel. It was homemade from a good friend of mine. I have
I can-
referred my friend Tim to it.
Mhm.
I'll probably send you the link. He's on Facebook, but man, he makes some good stuff. I've done like to see what comes through. So it's just insane. But I mean, I've done so many things in the readings. I think as the years have gone by, it seems like it's gotten more intense. And as a matter of fact, I want to go to the Victoria Swan. It's here in San Antonio, which I'm making arrangements for that because we have a family that wants to go hunting. So I might do that on live. I just don't know when. I wasn't really gonna tell anybody, but I might just do it live from my phone, and whoever might want to join. I'm actually excited. And maybe I might run across people that haven't never seen me, but 'cause there's a lot of people on Facebook that are from here as well. That so if they see my face, they're like, "That's Chris," So, so I'm looking forward to that. Maybe probably this
That's
week, or I'm hoping to go now. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe going in September. I really don't know. We have to make arrangements because what they do is they have vendors,
Mhm.
and what they'll do is have like they sell beer and all that stuff, and they sell there's like readers.
So.
They have like readers, yeah. And what they'll do is that they have their section of readers. I've been told by many people, it's like, Chris, you need to get yourself out there. You need to go in there. But what I want to do first is be a little kid in the candy store and like just do a walkthrough of the outside from the front back. I'm planning to do a live on that because there's somebody that I have on Facebook, which is the daughter that plays. So I have like somewhat of a connection. But I'm looking forward to doing a live there.
That'd be
I might
great.
even wear my advertisement shirt. Yeah, I'll keep you updated because you never know. And I like that kind of stuff. So what I'll probably do is show myself first and then rotate the camera and see what other people see. I've talked to a few friends of mine and they see some crazy stuff. I've already had imprinted stuff in my head. Like I've already seen what you can look up. It's called the Black Swan Inn. It's
The
a
Black
beautiful building. Yeah, the victorious one. And I wish I could show it to you, but I can't do it right now. Hold on,
That's
maybe if I look it.
all right. That sounds really fun and cool.
Very interesting. And
So yeah,
part of that.
yeah. It's just fun to get out there, and I'm glad to see you're doing some stuff. That's awesome, Chris. And I don't know if there's anybody out here who doesn't know your background, but maybe we could summarize a little bit. I know we talked about it before, but you've got Psychics United, and you've got a cool background, like really interesting history. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that before.
Shamanism.
Yeah.
Shamanism. What I've done too is more channeling now. So I've had times where people have witnessed, like I get deep where I get names. Before it was just letters, but sometimes it varies with so many people. And I've noticed lately, which there's a friend of mine that's, I don't know if she's watching live. I think it's Debbie. Like
Debbie
right here. Yeah, what I'll
Yeah.
have like right here. This is totally new for me. I don't know what it means, but I'm looking into it. Where I get like read, but depending on the reading, how intense it is, I get this like really lightheaded, like it's like something's coming toward me, or like I'm feeling something. And then right here where my head is, like crown chakra, I get tingling. That's something new, which just recently it's been going on for about a week or two. Which
Wow.
whatever that means, I don't know. Maybe there's a download or something that's going on with me. I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, did I try to debunk it, thinking that maybe it's a health issue? I hope it's not a health issue
Right.
because I've looked,
Anything bad.
So yeah, I don't want to know that, but I just pray that it's more spiritual, maybe a upgrade that I'm not aware of yet. But there's been a lot of sensations. Been doing a lot of walkthroughs in people's houses, and then you know what I've noticed with walkthroughs? There's something about steps. Like you know how like when you go up the steps, I've been drawn to people's steps for some reason. And I've noticed that most of the readings when I do live, it's like something about hallways. I'm always finding something strange with hallways and steps. So that's something new when I do walkthroughs on live.
Wow.
But
You get the
really
feeling about
weird.
where their steps, where their actual like footprint would be, their psychic footprint.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that could be it too, but I've seen like well, you know where the houses have like steps where you go up the steps. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So I don't know what's drawing me in. I don't know what's going on with that. But it's just so strange that I'm noticing this, and I'm like, what is with the steps and the hallways at people's houses? I'm just getting like pulled to them, and then I tell them to turn around, and sometimes I'll see the spirits like in the corners. Usually lately it's been on the left hand corner that I'll see them, and then sometimes I'll just see them run across, and they'll just wave at me, and I'm like, did y'all see that? You know, it's
Wow.
That's really
Well, that's something psychics talk about a lot of times is like, a left side and a right side. Like sometimes it's like a whispering in the left ear as opposed to the right. And
oh, the
depending-
ringing too. The ringing, that's another thing. The ringing has been constant. The ringing in my ear is on both now. That I get like a very high pitch. It's been going on for weeks too. I don't know what the hell that's about. I'm like, what is going on with me?
wow.
Wow,
Well, it
so-
sounds like you're growing spiritually,
Yes,
Chris. Like
exactly.
these don't sound like negative things. It sounds like like you said, an enhancement or something. It's Chris Garcia 2.0. You're coming out.
Like
or-
that.
Maybe 10.0. I mean, I certainly, I know we've gone through changes, growing and developing it just as people,
Mhm.
let alone spiritually. So there's good, positive things that may be happening to you. And there's a comment out here, Debbie Wallace Hagen. She says, I forgot to tell you, I researched it. It's another part of your awakening. So maybe that makes sense to you.
Yeah, oh, and I was gonna tell you, I don't know if you've seen this live. Oh my God. This is a new book that I actually was so drawn to it. It scares you. It's like a tarot, and I've done it for Johnny and other people.
Mhm.
Deb, Kimmy, just weird. And what it says, got questions? All you have to do is ask, and it's a book of answers. This
Mm,
is like, see how thick that is?
Oh,
yes.
yes.
So what I'll do is that they say you put your hand on it. So like if you ask a question, wherever my finger goes is the page I'm gonna say, and then it goes like this. Ooh, ooh, okay, this is weird. Don't know what I'm asking, but it says reveal your thoughts to a trusted confine.
Haha,
You
Wow,
have to,
that is really
I
cool.
love that.
The Book of Answers. So there's a form of divination you don't see
Mm.
every day. That's
No.
really neat. So every page does a different thing, and where you're drawn to, and just like dealing out a tarot deck, you're randomly just hitting that thing, but you're not really randomly doing it on some subconscious or psychic level.
Right.
if my fingers, yeah.
And it gives you the appropriate answer. That is really cool. I like that, Chris. The Book of Answers. Annette
it down.
Grimmenstein, and I apologize if I mispronounced your name, Annette, asks, can you tell me what always blocks me from achieving happiness?
Personally, I think it's more of yourself. I think it's the fear of wanting to learn, but be having to fail. But if you have to change your mindset to where you can't let fear get the best of you, because that's the thing that we all have fear of. So I do feel that if you have a different perspective and you start putting your mind in a different mindset, you see things differently. So what you need to do is change your thought patterns. Only positive. You can say only positive is allowed in my space. Only positive is allowed in my space. Only positive is allowed in my space. Or only happiness. Whatever comes to you, go with your heart chakra, because your heart is not going to lie to you. It comes from your heart. So
The heart-
focus on that, maybe. Hmm.
I like that. Thank you so much. Another comment out here from Laurie Smith says, Chris has even picked up on old ancestry relatives of mine, like Napoleon, and he was absolutely spot on with it because my dad did ancestry DNA test. Chris is amazing. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was weird. The Napoleon thing, Laura, that was insane.
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
I didn't even know who Napoleon is. I was like, oh, who is Napoleon? And she was like, and then I could see like but it wasn't like, cause in my mind I saw it sideways, but in the picture on Google he didn't wear it sideways. So I thought, and then I find out that he was connected to the slaves, and the slaves used to wear the hat sideways, and I thought,
really?
And then I
Wow.
found out, get this is gonna blow your mind. She's also related to Benjamin Franklin, the $100 bill.
Wow. That's really cool.
Wow.
So she has a big list, and I was like, oh my God, I just opened a whole nother door for you. And she was like, yeah.
That may sound like kind of like really unusual. I know like a lot of people are related percentage of the population that say like Genghis Khan.
Yes.
You know, that it's just the way nature works, you know, and there's some DNA there, you know, with people who populate. I know Benjamin Franklin had a lot of children. I know he lost a lot of children too, actually. And you know, times are tougher then, you know, in those days. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting to say the least.
Not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, on our good friend Greg Coss's show, his Shadow Hunters Paranormal show. And
yeah, I know.
You were talking about astral projection in your childhood, I think. Maybe I got that wrong. I'm not sure, but it was something that we hadn't talked about. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that, like what it was like growing up and those kind of experiences.
Honestly, astral projecting still scares me to this day. I mean, I have very profound where I've caught myself out of body, where I've looked at my soul, but I'm asleep and I'm looking at it. And I've even done this. This is something totally different from astral projecting. I was talking about this last night and the night before. I was talking about shape shifting because I've seen myself shape into a wolf. I've seen myself either be a wolf that's either kind of like grayish and blackish, or it's kind of like white and gray. I've done it twice in shape shifting. Now with the astral projecting, as a child, it really did scare me, but I've learned to just adapt to it. So it was something that, like, it was just, to me, I just thought everybody could do it, but then I thought, nah, not everybody could do this but
Absolutely.
yeah. And then I've been able to go to certain people, like what's called by location. And
Yes.
the difference between astral projecting and by locating is that astral projecting go everywhere. By location to me is a distinctive location, like a house, someone that's related to you, or someone that you're connected to. And without, it's just like boom, you only go there. Astral projecting is more of just out of the spectral realm and on the other side, wherever you go. I think by location is more where you're like conjured, is what I want to use. It's more of a conjuring kind of thing. I've been conjured at times that I felt have that I've been conjured, and I'm thinking, why do I get that feeling like somebody told me? You know how like when you do a genie in a bottle and the genie just comes out and goes in. That's what I feel like. That
Interesting.
to me,
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting
that scares
of
me.
itself.
Yeah.
But I would agree with you.
Imagine.
Astral projection is, you will it, you're there. There's no sense of time. I imagine we talk about this, like the spirits and that we communicate with in places like Wilson Castle, perhaps have no sense of time, and there's no lapse. It's just kind of like they're there. They want to be there. They're there. If they don't want to be there, they're not. When you mention things like bilocation, it reminds me of like the timeline, like dreams that Kristen and I have had.
Yes.
Where we simultaneously seem to be living these other lives, and you wake up with this feeling of like, wow,
What the hell just happened?
what's going on? Like this story that nobody knows going on simultaneously. We exist in our 3D matrix world, and a real sense of that it was profound. So I think that's really cool. We both had experiences with astral projection. I had a lot of them when I was in middle school. I was very into that, and I think it's interesting that you had some similar experiences growing up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes I think I still do it, because there's one time where I'm not lying, Chris. I was like asleep. I don't even know how this happened, and I could hear like a certain call to me, and they gave me a warning where I was going, right? And this has only happened twice, but no one knows that I've done this. I could even say this to everybody in life. This happened to me twice. Well, they gave me a warning that somebody was looking for somebody specifically and who was available at the time. So they guess everybody else was astral projecting and everybody else was doing their thing. So I was available because they knew that I wasn't going anywhere because I was in my body, right? So all of a sudden I appear and I'm looking all around and I'm like, and all I remember seeing was brown walls. And I looked down and the tile was brown, like a light brown. And all around me was candles, white candles. Okay, there was a circle. And I looked and I'm saying, wow, I'm in a circle where where you call a certain person. It's like a seance kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I noticed it, I looked in front, there was these two girls looking at me and they're just like, and I'm like, how did I get here? And they said, by magic. And I was like, how did y'all know to contact me? You could have called anybody. But they said, we asked, and they told us that they were going to call somebody, but they couldn't tell us who it was. And then when they saw me, they said, you look familiar. So when I did it, I came out of the circle, and in the circle, I was like an outline. You know how like a spirit is? That's how I was. But when I walked out of the circle, I came out solid, and I was like, wow.
Sure. That's pretty interesting.
And then I looked at, yes, and I've done it twice, and I thought, how do people
That's
do that?
Yeah, it's like
Conjuring.
or something,
Yes.
on a spiritual level. That's pretty cool.
And they called you, and that's just
That's
weird.
weird, and I don't know, and I don't even know what that is, Chrissy, because to me, I call it conjuring, but I don't know what you guys would call that. Would y'all call it conjuring?
I think it's similar, and I have a good reply to that. I know in certain occult practices, it's been said, and we often talk about ghosts stepping into roles or spirits stepping into a role. So, all right, I need to, even if it's something natural or shamanistic, like say, the weather, or the spirit of the mountain, there will be entities out there that will fulfill that role. And those entities, maybe they're people like you and I, we don't know, that are coming into it in their dream state, fulfilling that role. We say the thing with in that hypnagogic state, yeah, especially like where you could go either way. But we talk about, like, there's a lot of cemeteries that seem to have, or houses that have a little girl, little boy trapped in them. There's the maiden who has been scorned, the woman in white, like those kind of things are very common in the paranormal. Most towns seem to have these, in cities, some legend, a story, a folklore,
Yes.
of those times. And maybe those things do really exist, in our consciousness. It's people stepping up to it, or other spirits, so it's like you hit a spiritual role in the mental state that you're in, that you're able to fulfill what those people were calling for. And that's fascinating. That's deep stuff.
She's a good comment.
Wow. And Johnny just put that right now, and she said spirit roles are
Vital
something,
for
I don't.
Yeah, vital for evolution. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I think maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of the human experience, but we've yet to document it fully. People talk about taking on god forms in the occult, and that sort of thing, and becoming godlike, talking to some kind of deity to be able to match it in their practices and rituals, and maybe that's part of it. Like maybe you're just stepping into that role. Barbara Nell says that is deep. Yes, it is. Right?
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right,
that
down
is
here.
deep, and that's only happened twice that I remember it. That's why I was like,
Eric asks, how would you guys suggest or not suggest going about choosing a psychic, medium, or card reader? So if you're locally going to talk to somebody face to face, I mean, we're going to suggest you give Chris a call.
Yes.
And, just to give you a plug here, if you're just listening and you can't see the screen, our ticker, you can reach Chris on Facebook by looking for Chris Garcia. His phone number is 210-974-3470, or you can reach him at Garcia187bluelove@gmail.com. We're going to say that a few times through the show, so if you didn't get it all, it's okay. Again, but how would you? What kind of recommendation?
That's a good question. I like that. Now, if it was me and me, I don't like. How can I put it? There's other psychics out there. Okay, I'm not gonna say don't choose. You have to choose me. You really don't. It's really your preference. What I would do in order to choose a psychic or a medium or a light worker, whatever the person wants to call themselves, intuitive, spiritual advisor, whatever. The best thing is don't act up on the first one. I would say just browse, like on Facebook, 'cause there's a lot of people on Facebook, but I think you would find some you would find on TikTok. But TikTok, there's like numbers of ones. But I would say just look to what stands out to you, and if the person draws you in, I would say just go with that person. I mean, I would suggest that you can suggest, that I'm glad that Kristen, them suggested me, but it's just my preference. I don't have this attitude where I don't compete with everybody. I'm just me at the end of the day. If you choose me, it's because I'm just very direct, very blunt, and I just tell it like it is. Other psychics, you can choose them, and they'll charge you, and they'll never talk to you again. Now with me, it's a little different. I'll talk to you, I'll read you, and I'll keep in contact because that's how I take care of my clients. I love my people. I love and I take care of people. Now that's another way you can choose. If the person is nice or the person is rude, that's a big plus for me. If I was looking for someone, I would look for someone that it could be like like someone that I know in chat, like I know Johnny, I know Kimmy. If I didn't know anybody and I wasn't a reader, there would be certain people that I would pick, and I'm like, you know what, I like her or I like him because I like the attitude, I like the vibe they give out. So that's something that I would recommend just paying attention to.
Yeah, well, that's good. I think you got, like you
Yeah,
said.
go with your gut,
Go
go
with
with
your
your heart. You don't, like you said, pick the first person. You need to feel out and just go with it. And if you have a question, maybe Chris could answer it tonight. I'm saying,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yes.
While you're here,
While you're here.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yes, Eric. If you have a question, put it up there in the chat, and we'll pass that along to Chris right away. So you've had a busy year. You're doing some cool new things. We're glad to hear that.
Absolutely.
If you do live readings, which I am fascinated that you can do this on Facebook. Like, I always feel like the psychic needs to like be like in front of the person, or that
Feel their energy
to get or on the phone or make some kind of connection. But Facebook seems so almost random because you don't necessarily even know if the person's real. But
Yeah.
I'll hone in on those things
It
so
feels,
quickly.
it
And you
feels
do a great
random. So I mean, but the way I see it is just insane. Oh, and I gotta tell you something, guys. This is so weird. Oh my god. Here we go. Oh my
Imagine.
god. I could not believe this is happening. God, this is gonna be a strange night, okay?
Okay.
Oh, we like strange.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
us.
God. Okay, Chris, I'm gonna ask you both a question, okay?
Sure.
Can you both hear me?
Yes.
Can you both hear me?
We can both hear you.
Like
Just go like this. If you can hear me. Okay, get this.
I feel like I'm
Right
in the
when we
shine.
talk about it, I can't hear you.
Is it because you're
I can't hear you. So this is so weird. Why does this shit happen to me? But nobody see, this is what I've noticed. When people call me, it intervenes with the broadcast, but nobody was calling me. So all of a sudden, I don't know if we brought something in, and now we're having error because I can hear myself, and I promise you, I charged these up to the fullest, okay? They're charged up. Now, I find it random that it only happens to me. I could probably unplug my headphones and see if I can hear y'all because nobody called me, but all of a sudden y'all just went mute. And I find that so strange because
Chris?
Now there could be a possibility, I don't know. The spirit box is right next to me.
I like that.
Okay. There's no batteries in here. You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should have put that next to me now. I'm trying to kind of wonder. And I think this is because I can't get this. So what I'm going to have to do is put it on. Okay, so now I can hear you on my phone. I just won't be able to hear you here. So whatever you're telling me that somebody wants a reading,
Mm-hmm.
so now I have to hear you from my phone in order to ask somebody a reading. But y'all can hear me, so that's important. We're not going to stop the show. I personally feel like something is trying to stop the show because I can't hear you. But we can get through this because it's so strange. We were talking about the conjuring, and then you said the circle with the candles and all that. And then we were talking about all this stuff, and all of a sudden you just went mute.
We got some kind of stream is coming through there. Your phone. Okay, that's the only way you can hear us is through the phone now.
Weird.
Okay, that's all right. We got this.
What I believe is for you is that maybe there's so much going on and so much content for you and so much to read that you can't really hear because you're trying to help you read.
Hold on, let me see this.
Everyone's different. All of us are all different, and we do everything in different ways, and we receive things in different ways as well. And yours is, like we said earlier, you're still growing as well as everyone else, and being something different. Most definitely, I can actually, for some reason, relate to that.
The filtering of the information.
Exactly.
Right,
Sounds
right.
like he's
And-
watching a live on another phone, which I thought he was, because I think he said it.
Yeah. Maybe if you can hear me a little bit, maybe you could give us a reading, and then we'll let our audience kind of step in.
Okay. Why do you do that?
Because
you do that all the time. It's like you put us on the spot.
you sound like your cuz.
I do.
I do. Can you hear me a little bit?
Now,
Do you want to try to tell us what might be in store for our near
No.
future?
I hear you. That's what's crazy. I had to turn this thing off so I can hear you.
Well, that's good. We want to be heard.
This is weird.
We want to be heard.
Oh. Okay. Spirit is messing with me today. So
Yeah. Sometimes they're a little,
Just too much.
little crazy. It can be pesky.
Okay, so did y'all want a specific question?
I don't have a specific question. Maybe just general outlook for things coming up for
Dark Horse and Bigfoot and the Bunny.
Okay,
Just
now,
for us.
do you want to do it together, the reading together, or do you want to do it one person, one by one? Or do you want to
whatever
do
is
it both?
easiest for you. Just do it together if you can.
However it
If
stands
it's
out to
easy.
you is fine.
Okay. So what is
What spirits tell you
what is
about
spirit?
Chris and Kristen?
I tell you, this is so weird how tonight just started. Woo! Energy. Wow. Okay. So what I was told is that you need to have confidence in each other, work together. There's people that I think that are around you. Okay, now I'm getting the lightheaded. There it goes again. I'm getting the lightheaded. Okay, I gotta calm down. There's people around you that are acting like they're acting different around you, but they're not being themselves. So they have that split personality. So I feel like there's people that are kind of like splitting themselves in half, I guess, so to speak. So it's kind of like they're just not being honest. I'm being told with both of you. I'm talking about just individually. Now I'm not talking about network. I'm not talking about network. I'm just talking about with you both just at the time. Okay. So, so that's what I feel. But I do feel that you both have confidence in each other, and you both help each other. One is ahead of each other. So when you both talk, make sure that you both talk as one. You both as one. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
we were
it
just
does.
talking about something very
same.
similar to that.
Yep.
On
Wow.
our way back here. So yeah, you're hitting it.
Yes.
Okay, so that it's also what I'm being told also. If there's drama or if you feel like there is some pleading, the card walk away came out for you guys. Or if they don't serve you any justice, just walk away from it. Don't feed into it. Don't think about what others are saying. Just focus on you both and the network itself. Because I feel that you both have grown. You're both evolving. So I do feel that there's going to be times where you're going to have to walk away from things. And you're going to, I don't know why, but one of you is always saying yes to everybody. there's gonna be a time where you're gonna have to say no. And one of you, I'm feeling, I don't know who it is, but one of you is gonna take it hard to say no. I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Okay.
you want to please everybody, but it's not about pleasing. It's about you. You got to take care of you. You got to take care of each other. Remember, you're both as one. Does that make sense?
Spot on, sir. Spot on. Just it's me. I do that.
She is the people pleaser.
I'm
Yeah.
a social butterfly when we go out and stuff. And yeah, have to say hi to everybody, make sure everybody's fine. But that's my heart. So
Yeah, and I understand that because I'm like that too. But I've learned that you need to put boundaries, and that's hard to do because in the business, we all try to be accepted, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I feel like you want to be liked, but I'm gonna tell you like this, and this might sound kind of just strange, or I don't know if it's gonna sound rude, but I'm not saying any by any means. You were born alone, you died. Does that make sense?
you kind of cut out a little
You
bit.
said you were born alone, you'll die alone.
Right. Okay.
But
That's what
as long as you have each other,
Oh,
you're
well.
both as a couple. So start
Gonna
treating each
die
other
hard.
like that, and keep that with the broadcast. Work together, and once y'all are doing it, and I see that with y'all are gonna go places. I don't know why, but I just feel that y'all are being watched by other networks, and I see that you both. And I'm not saying that y'all are doing that. It's just natural. That's the vibe I get. That others are seeing you as a threat. They're not going to tell you directly. You'll just hear it through the grapevine that you are a threat to them. If you are a threat to them, you're doing a damn good job. Because that's what I get sometimes. I feel like I'm a threat to people, but I'm not trying to compete nobody. But if they have an issue with me, then it's because it's like I want to be like him. But nobody can be like me. Don't try to be someone that you're not. Be yourself.
Absolutely. We agree. Thank
Totally agree. And that really seems spot on. And I'm sure, it's such a competitive business, which, annoys me in a certain way because, I feel like you should do this, out of the passion. And I think most people are passionate that are involved.
Mhm.
But, the small bits of money that go on the table, you just see everybody scrambling for this and that. And we just want to be ourselves, and reach people. And we're
Yeah.
so happy to provide a platform for people like you. And we feel honored to have
even
guests like yourself,
have you. Yes.
on here and that people listen to it. So I don't know if we're a threat. Maybe you should reconsider what your goals are, really.
Yeah.
I don't know, but thank you so much.
To reach for the stars. That's what I was told. Is to reach for the stars and look at it as go beyond and just know that it's potential. You bring the potential to the table. You show them what you're about. You tell them the truth, and that's what you are. You speak the truth. You tell the truth, and
That's
Oh.
right.
And only
Oh.
the truth.
That's it. That's what we do. And what
And
we
some people
get,
can't handle the truth.
what we get on our spirit, our data and stuff. It's our data, whatever you want to call it, is we've gotten told once that it was fake. And how do you fake that?
No,
we
no.
can't, but
We don't fake anything.
no, everything
No.
is
But there are fakers out there.
True.
Some of them are quite
Yes.
well known. And I think that it stinks because, I usually say the word sucks because it brings everybody down, if you're getting legitimate data and you present it to people. Those clips I played earlier, I mean,
yeah.
there it is. It's, you're getting the raw and then I'll try to clean it up or something, but I'm telling you this. So, it's not a surprise. All right, here it is. There's a raw farm. And I mean, I'll slow it down and you hear those words. And it may not be the nicest words, right? I mean, basically the first clip I think we played tonight, Spirit said,
F you.
F you.
Cluck you. Yeah. I have to keep saying that.
Bob Burnell says, I'm a big fan of
Mhm.
Chris Garcia. And hey, Bob, how you doing tonight?
hi, Bob.
There's Dale Schultz. Eric Johnson. Kristen got Grandma Johnson's gift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grandma Johnson.
We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, she does. She does.
But hopefully that makes sense for both of you, and hopefully it gives you some peace.
Well, thank you so
And
much.
Find peace within yourself and stop being a people pleaser. That needs to stop.
I'm sorry.
Chris, get on her.
No,
I get on her
it
regularly, but
does. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm ridiculous. I'm just helpful. I want to fix everything. And so I wanted to ask you, how did you become a shaman? When did that happen? What pursued you?
Well, I was actually a shaman in the past life. And I know that it's been inherited, so I feel like it just came, but I didn't acknowledge it until maybe my 20s. I want to say precisely. But it's something that I was always in tune with the land, the trees, and everything. So it's been just something genetically. I think I've came out more into the open that there's a lot of medicine work that needs to be done. Um, Something to do with the stones is what I'm seeing. I can feel that everything in a pouch has power in it, which I have a pouch up there, but y'all can't see it. And I don't know why. I'm telling you, something's going on with me because something's hitting me really hard right now with everything you're asking me. So I'm getting this weird tingling, not tingling, but this lightheadedness, like it's something.
do you feel a pressure sometimes in
Yeah.
your forehead?
And I don't know what it is. It's freaking me out. That's why I'm like right now. I feel like I'm about to just lean forward to the camera, and it's so weird. And y'all know me for a long time. I've been on your show more than once. This is totally different for me. So I'm like, what's going on with me? Like, is
Let
it
it
a health issue? No.
Just let it go. Let it see where it takes you. Work with it, I guess, and just see what happens. I mean, that sounds like Chris and I said. We feel like you're growing more, and something different is happening to you. And
one thing will trigger another,
Exactly.
and doors just seem to open, right? And it sounds like the new doors opening for you, my friend, and I think that's exciting and that's good.
It just freaks me out because I don't know what it means. I'm still trying to process it as being a medium and psychic. Is that I feel like I probably need to speak up more.
Mhm.
Not that I'm hiding anything because I'm not, but I feel like there's more information that is being downloaded, but it's not all coming all at once. It's just saying it's not the time to say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Certainly. And I know sometimes people are afraid to get read. Like, just feel like, people are people, and naturally we have good and bad about us and stuff. If you're out there in the audience, how about Laurie? Laurie, would you like a reading? Like, you can or have a question for Chris? Let us know. We had a great time, Laurie and Kristen.
The other Kristen with an eye. Yes. So this is Lori here. Yes, she's in the chat. They're awesome people.
That is profound though, because I mean, to me, I just find it very strange. Like, I just find it very, very strange. But to me, it's not a bad thing. It's just that I'm just learning from it. So it's something totally different.
I think you get the meaning of life, like encapsulated right there. Or, it's about learning. I feel like we're constantly growing, constantly learning, and how to do things in this 3D sort of matrix that we all live in. And it seems to be like the purpose, other side of like,
Yes.
repopulating the population, eating the food, figuring out how to get the food and all that, those basic things.
Mm-hmm.
What else do? We just think and grow and try to develop new technologies and things like that as a race, like a people.
Yes.
We're constantly evolving the technology, like we're trying to build some crazy thing eventually. Now we have artificial intelligence robots that seem a lot smarter than a lot of people I know. It's never ending. You can do art online with AI now, which is really interesting. You can give it
Yes.
keywords and it'll produce a picture based on, a history of artwork that's greater than any particular one person. All in one fell swoop. It'll come back and spit it out in 2 minutes. Here's your art. It's very fascinating.
It is
the way
fascinating,
we're
but-
growing and so
Yeah.
quick.
That's
know.
such good.
And it is weird too because now I'm thinking about it, and they're telling me in my mind they know. They're telling me what this is. They're telling me what this is because remember the sensation is right here, and what is right here, and metaphysics, the third eye. There's something with my third eye chakra.
Mhm. Most definitely. That's what it sounds like.
Like I said, maybe you're
Right.
feeling like a pressure in there. You feel it when you feel it within. I've always thought about it. Well, maybe somebody's thinking about me in some intense way, or something psychically is about to happen when I'll feel this kind of crazy pressure in my forehead. And it
Yeah.
just pops out, and I don't know 100% what it means. I don't think people know.
That's why
science
we're
hasn't
here. Yeah.
reached it, right?
Right.
It's like
what
we're all
doing. We're trying to
learning.
Find the, what do I say? Wows and highs?
The highs and miles.
The highs and miles. That was a blonde moment one night.
Well,
Yes.
you are a blonde,
Thank you.
so you're allowed. I'll give you permission. I give you special permission, babe.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask because I know you were asking the question. So let's see what the Book of Shadows has got to say. Because I already gave y'all a reading. So let's see. How does the Book of Answers feel about the network and everything I've said? Oh shit! Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Ready for this?
Okay.
The
Absolutely.
answer is in your backyard.
What?
The answer is in your backyard.
Means it's right there. It's close to
Right
home.
there behind us, right? And we should know.
Wow.
Thought she left.
So the answer is in front of you. You just gotta look deeper. Is what I get with that.
Yeah, pay attention to it, right?
Wow. I'm done. This book is. I'm gonna say, this book is creepy.
It's awesome though. It's awesome. I would love to do that.
I think it's a really interesting divination tool.
Yes.
And it's not one I've seen before. And did you get that at like an Amazon or Barnes and Nobles kind of thing?
Yeah, because I think I got this on eBay. It has been very profound. Oh my god, I just thought of something. Oh my god, it's hitting me now.
Oh
Shit.
no.
Oh,
Because there was somebody, I can't say her name. She
Okay.
was like, what direction do I pursue with people that I'm talking to? I can't believe this. Oh my god, this is so weird. That was like a slap in the face. Seriously. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna tell y'all something else I didn't show you. Another thing that I was doing, I'm just trying to calm down because I'm freaking out.
We can tell. Please deep breath.
Dowsing rods. You see that?
oh
been-
yes, I like them. I make those.
So I use that too, and that is very profound. Like, it is very strange, but I think this one you should buy it. Chris, look on eBay, and the author. I don't know if you have a paper and pen in front of you.
Yes.
What you're gonna type in for the Book of Answers. Her name is Carol, Carr. Something's trying to come through. Carol. Okay, and then her last name is Bolt.
Like bullet.
Yeah, Bolt.
Got it.
Yeah, Belay.
Belay, maybe.
Carol Belay.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll look for that. I think that's cool and a very interesting way to approach divination, right? I mean, the answer's
Yeah.
right there on the page. It's a nice visual thing. You say, well, there it is,
It is.
like it really does literally spell out the answers.
Yeah.
But the whole process, of course, of picking that page is where the divination comes in. And
That's
how
where
cool
that.
is that?
And you know what's weird? You know how like there's different gifts, and I don't know what is the word to define, but I feel like that's. I know there's another word for it. It's another Claire. I want to say it's. I'm trying to remember how to spell it, but I'm processing the word. It's
Claire.
CLAIROGANE. It's another Claire. It's not clairvoyant.
It's cognizant,
Yeah,
clairsentient.
There's a lot of Claires.
There's a lot of those Claires.
but that one
Keep
to me
myself.
is more of
Okay,
the
I'm
know,
getting-
the knowing with the. It's like more of the psychic touch with your fingers. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Oh,
vibration.
yes. What do you call it? Psychometry?
Psychometry.
Psychometry.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
the history behind an object.
Wow. But it is amazing because I would say if you're a person that loves divination, I would recommend this book. This is very scary. Now that I think back to certain people's questions,
Mhm.
It starts to make sense.
I really can't say anything because it's gonna come back to me and they're like, be quiet, that kind of thing. But because somebody was asking me and I can't say what they were asking, but they were like, am I looking in the right place for that right person? And I said, and it said to look further or look deeper. You're looking in the wrong places. Damn, that shit just got me. Damn.
But see,
it-
it kind of makes sense though of what you're going through.
yeah, that is insane.
Yeah,
Yes.
I almost hear that song, looking for love and all the road.
Oh, good Lord, it's going to be stuck in my head.
Well, sometimes that's part of it, right?
Yep.
Absolutely not. I not believe our audience. There's a whole bunch of people out here,
Yes, please. Thank you.
and they're all like being shy. Like, what are you guys up to? What are you worried about? Chris is gonna say here. A question, bring it out.
We have a scammer and I can't find
Oh
it.
yeah, we do. We have somebody out
Can you
there
grab
trying to
them, please?
just trying to get readings and
Yeah.
money for themselves.
No, or something. Thank you.
Give them the boot right now. Goodbye. Mm.
I'm looking at it right now.
Dude.
That guy
So-
Eric, if you want to have a question, and I was gonna ask you, that guy Eric,
Eric,
did
yeah,
Johnson.
did I
Kristen's
ask you-
cousin.
did the question that you asked about psychics, does it make sense on how to look for the psychic?
Mhm.
I'm being told that. Something told me to ask him that if
There
that
you go,
question I would give him that good answer. Yeah, Arizona. You know that I call people out.
Now,
That's probably why they're scared.
it's a pretty name.
That's it.
That's-
That's it. Because
there
you
you
tell the
go.
truth, man. People are scared of the truth. Sometimes
Eric,
they don't want to face it.
absolutely.
Sometimes they just don't want to deal with themselves. They know on some level, this is what I should do,
Yeah.
but it's work, and they're just like, no, I don't want to hear it.
That's why, you know what? It's okay because there's even times where, even with me, it kind of, I think it's hard. Not saying that I won't say it, but I think that with stuff going on, it's hard to say no. And some people do take it for granted. And personally, I feel like they shouldn't. People shouldn't be that way, but people are that way. And it really is, I want to say it's sad because people, they expect more, and the more that you give them, the more they want. So that's what I'm saying. When you have to know how to say no, but no is a very, very hard word, and most people, I guess, if you say no to them,
and they can accept your answer, this is how I would look at it. If they block you, or if they cannot accept the answer that you give them, because out of respect that you say, you know what, I have to say no to this one, it's because they didn't want to hear that answer. They've always heard yes, and they're not used to the word no. But
If you can't
they
respect your boundaries, then
understand
the hell with it anyways.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
Hey,
and I, that's
people
what
have to have boundaries.
some people have. Some people are just scared.
Yes. Just typing that now. My cousin has a question.
Yeah, I see a couple questions out there. All right, there's a couple of people here. Kathleen Connor asks, "Can you tell me anything, please?"
Okay, nice to meet you. Hopefully she can
Hey,
hear
Kathleen.
me. See, her name is, what is it called again? Kathleen?
Kathleen.
Oh, that's a pretty name.
Kathleen Connor. I see she has no Facebook picture, so I don't know. We don't know
No.
Kathleen.
Okay, so
Random.
first of all, for Kathleen, I was told no limits came out for you.
No
Yeah.
limits.
So what I was told with that is that you have to know that you have to continue, and that nothing can stop you from going for what you need to do. And you need to put restrictions, because what they're trying to do is trying to tell you what to do and trying to say, okay, you got to go this way. Let's go this way. So they're not coming with the agreement. So they're having an issue with you saying, okay, well, I'm going to go this way. They're not used to change. I don't know if that makes sense, but you have no limits, and you have to understand that people are going to do whatever it takes to get whatever. And I'm also told that there's going to be people that are going to smooth talk you to take advantage of you and trying to get somewhere, and they're going to use their beauty to get what they want. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm seeing for you.
That's excellent, Chris. Eric, Kristen's cousin,
I think he,
is also looking.
yeah, he says, I have no specific questions, but could you give him something?
I got general
Yeah.
reading, maybe.
Yes.
Hi, Eric. Nice to see you. What does Eric need to know? First message, well, as I'm shuffling the cards, I'm being told for you to be yourself. Oh, we got a jumper.
We
Got a
gotta-
jumper.
yeah,
What?
just jump off me.
Oh my God, dude. You might not have a question, but the card's calling you out, okay?
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
First card, the jumper card that just came out. Someone is trying to get their way, and they're using witchcraft to get to you, Eric. They're using witchcraft.
Kristen
It's
looks guilty.
not me.
It's
Swear.
not me.
I swear.
Do we have a witch in the house? She's a witch. How do you know?
Someone is using magic, and that's what the jumper came out. Now with that, ooh, the other card just came out. Is truth unrevealed, which means that there is that there's a certain situation that is out there, and whatever is hidden is behind the closet. It's like in the dark, like lingering, and it's being told that there's secrets that are about to come out, and I'm being told very, very soon. Very, very soon. I don't know if that makes sense, Eric, but I'm being told that there is somebody that I think is more of, I think, hearing manipulation and control to try to swerve you to go their way instead of going your way, and that making that decision. I don't know if that makes sense.
Excellent. Hopefully that makes let us know, Eric, in the comments
Yes, please.
if that makes sense to you. I appreciate this, Chris. I always feel funny putting you on the spot with these
Yes.
readings, but and then again, it's such a gift. It's so cool that you can do that so quickly and just
Yeah, and it's crazy because I was shuffling and the card just popped out, and I've noticed
that's
another
what you
thing
meant by jumper.
Yeah, it's,
It popped
that
out.
something
Okay,
pop
I
out,
was
and it's like
we had a jumper.
we
I'm
had
thinking, nah, I don't have a message for you, and the cards are like, no, we do have a message for you, and it just pops out. It's like somebody is pushing the card out. It's not me. It's more of the cards have their own energy.
I
If that
swear,
makes
it
sense,
is
yeah.
not me doing witchcraft. It's because
right. You get
Yes.
guilty like, oh,
Nope.
I'm not the witch. Not this time.
nope. Somebody else. So that's what I feel anyway.
As a
I'm
Rihanna, Fidel
Is it-
asks, I don't scare easily, but I'll have a card, please, if you're doing one. So with some hesitancy, we see that people starting to step out and say, okay. I'll take a card."
You know, that's been happening a lot lately. I guess it's because they know what's going on with me. Maybe they know more than what they're giving out. That's why the tingling and yeah, you know
Ooh,
what I'm saying?
yes.
I would agree. Yeah.
She says I love jumpers. Anne Marie says I love jumpers.
It's awesome.
So Arizona, I got the toxic waves for you. It says bad habits, addictions, can't stay away from harmful circumstances. So what that's telling me is that people are gonna message you, which this is already happening, that they're so toxic in their addictions that they have this habit that they just don't know when to be quiet. And they're trying to be Mrs. They're trying to use you as 411.
Maybe
And
like
to be
drunk
honest with you,
kind of thing.
yeah, they shouldn't have to use you that way. That only tells me that they only ask you when it's convenient, and they're just in it for wanting to know knowledge and trying to get information off of you. So they're using their toxic ways of trying to get information to get what they need to know to benefit them or who else is involved in that. Hopefully that kind of hits home with you, but that's what I'm being told. So what I mean with the toxic, you need to cut that cord. You might not want to because you're like Chrissy, she's very giving. You gotta cut that cord. You gotta cut that off. I know it's hard, but there's a time and place for it. You gotta know how to say no.
I think we got a theme going.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She's like, this is not happening to me.
People want to be generally nice and they don't want to shit on other people and that kind of stuff. But you got to have your boundaries. Got to say no sometimes, right? Got to just get away from certain things. And not everybody can be part of your life. It just doesn't work out that way. Anne-Marie Young asks, hey, I would love a card if you have time. Well, we got time, Anne-Marie. We always got time for Anne-Marie Young. don't we?
Absolutely.
Arizona, hopefully that makes sense to that card. But hopefully that hits home for you. Okay. Okay, Anne Marie. Oh my god, I'm feeling her energy too. I've been getting very light with all this. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm getting like this, like the way you said, Chris. I'm getting this pressure in my head, dude. Weird. Okay, so what I was told with the six months card just came out, it has to do with responsibilities and their skills and training and employment. So I do feel that what is someone does routine with their responsibilities and their skills. I feel like you need to come outside of your routines, and I feel like for some reason I feel like you need to teach, but I feel like there is something that you're lacking, and you need to change in that perspective. I feel like you're meant to relay messages, but I don't feel like not everyone's gonna want to hear what you gotta say. So let's see what the book of answers got to say with
That's
that
circling
one.
back to the, telling the truth about things, right?
Okay. It says reveal your thoughts. See, confident. So that means that whatever you're revealing, go to somewhere, go to somebody that you can trust. That's for Anne Marie. So the book
Excellent.
of answers gave you that. Go to someone that you can trust.
Our
Right.
friend Lori Cummings. Are you done, Chris, for Anne?
Yep, we're bringing it back.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you so much. There it is. If Chris has time for a general question.
What's her name again?
Lori Cummings.
Cummings.
Nice to meet you.
She's fond of chickens. I understand it.
Yeah.
I saw that.
The other Kristen with an eye is even fonder. Yes.
Okay, there's something going on. Okay, there's definitely something going on. Something's trying, it's telling me that there's a bystander. Sit back and watch all that happens. Not standing up for someone being hurt or abused. I feel like there's someone that needs to, is just not really speaking, so they're like pretending like they're not seeing. It's kind of like they're just avoiding the conflict. And I feel like there's favoritism. But you need to get past that. You need to get past that issue. There might be some kind of abuse. So let's see what the book of answers is going to say to you. For Lauren, what kind of answers can you give her with the book of answers? Unquestionable. Whatever you're wanting to know is unquestionable. You know the answer.
Wow.
Now you already know the answer before you ask it.
Too, Lori.
And so you know it on a subconscious level, which is kind of like, I think, Chris, I don't know if you agree with me, like a lot of this stuff is our subconscious. It seems to be connected, where we all seem to be connected in some way, and the information is just there freely flowing around, but it's the tuning in to that and filtering out the logical mind that seems to be kind of like part of how you do this. Do you find that when you get these kind of feelings about people, do you feel like it's coming from like another spirit?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like it's coming from like a pool of energy that's just like
Waves,
bubbling up?
vibrations, and frequencies.
You know what I say? I want to say it's both. It's both. It's basically both. And it's funny that you talk about frequency because I think with my frequency from years before, I've noticed that my frequency is kind of it's different now. It seems like I'm in a different frequency. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's where that tingling in the crown chakra is coming in. So there's a different frequency of change coming my way. If that makes kind of more sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I think we're all in for a lot of change and have been since like COVID hit and that kind of thing.
Goodness.
The whole world has changed. The way we work, the way we play, all these things have changed kind of in a dramatic way in the last few years. And I think it has affected a lot of people on a mental level. And unfortunately we see things like school shootings and stuff on a rise and, mass shootings and those sort of things where I think it is part of it. I don't think it's, pointing right at COVID, but it's the isolation. It's the kind of different, for lack of a better term, boundaries that have been set out for people.
Yes.
Has definitely affected the public. No question. Emery Young says she needs to get some black onyx. Eric says, thanks for been reading some of your rereading protection books.
That's you're having a conversation together.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Eric
I'm sorry. I
and
thought I'd
Ian.
get one that was more accurate.
Hopefully that helps. And I do feel that maybe that reading, I think he knew that was coming too. I feel like, so that he known. And for some reason, hopefully that makes sense to you, Lauren. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense to you. But for Eric, I feel like you've known this, but you're just like in denial with that answer, with the jumper card. I feel like it's always been there, and you've like neglected what you've been feeling. You've been avoiding that gut feeling, and I'm being told that you need to stop. You know, you need to stop in the tracks and start trusting what you feel. Because I'm being told the first impression is always a very important one.
It certainly is.
Eric.
Kirsten, I know something's coming here, so
Yep.
I'm trying to give you some
Give me some space.
waiting room here.
You're spot on, Chris. You're spot on. Eric needs to grow, and we're getting some more, researching going, him and I and friends. And yes, you're spot on.
That is important. And you know what's crazy as we're talking? I got that sensation again. It's like, it's weird.
Eric
It's like,
says, and
it's
you just
like
told me someone was attached to me in my closet, sleeping with the lights on.
Yes, and I was going to go into that, but I didn't want TMI, so here we are.
Well, people need to sleep with the lights on because you just,
No,
afraid of the dark.
The thing in his closet.
Uh-huh.
And Chris mentioned about his closet.
Yeah,
so,
no, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Why do I feel like a dark, furry thing in the closet? This dark, nasty shit in the closet. I do feel like whatever this was, it did not happen when he was a teenager. It happened when he was young, and I feel like I'm seeing yellow eyes peeking from the side, and I can see him like with a blanket, and he's like, all you can see is like his eyes. He's been afraid of the dark since then.
You should have told me because that's how I grew up as well. So
yeah.
Moving on.
Debbie Wallace Hagan says, I'm seeing a Ouija board. And Johnny is back.
Yes.
Johnny. Yeah.
So what makes sense to you about a Ouija board? Now I got a Ouija board right
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
here behind me. He's next to Wilson, affectionately named, and everybody thought I was just being stupid, but
Wilson.
Wilson. I love that movie.
There was one time where I was drawn to him. It was when I was a teen. But I was like, I don't need that. So it's kind of,
There was
everyone
one time in my childhood where I was not.
But I know that, with me being super sensitive now, I think if I actually got one, if I did, it would put me in danger because I'm really, really fucking open. Excuse my language, but
No, open language, you can say whatever you want.
So where it's kind of, I feel like I would get attacked if I even touched one because I'm too open. Because people have said you need to shut yourself up, and I'm like, I've tried. I've tried to hit Indian style. I've tried to hit meditation, which to me, even before a show, I don't need to meditate. There's others that do, but but it's so weird because as far as I've grown, the intensity around me and the energy, my aura, and everyone that I'm seeing, it doesn't feel the same as like when I first met you. My energy feels way different. So anything like that is like that, I think I would get hurt because it would try to possess me. And for me coming back from that, I probably wouldn't be the same yet. It would probably take a lot of people to hold me down because that's what I'm being told. So I wouldn't even touch that because I know how, like I'm like a book, like the book of answers. I'm just an open book. And that puts me, that puts me in a very dangerous spot to even touch one. I ain't gonna lie, as being how I grew up being pagan, I've always was drawn to one. But then a part of me, my guys feel like, no, don't even touch that. I know it's calling you because you have that witch in you.
Yes.
But don't you dare. Don't you dare touch that. So I was like, okay, I'm not arguing. So
that's an interesting subject, right? The whole controversy around Ouija boards. Some people love them, some people hate them. There's a lot of haters out there who say, don't touch those things. Don't let your kids near them. they make a like a Barbie edition of the Ouija board, by the way. But they do. I'm pretty sure, at some point. But it is just cardboard and stuff. But we have these preconceived notions that somehow this is something bigger than maybe what it physically is. Like there's just some mental aspect to a talking board that it is too close to home, and it's certainly an invitation to anything that might be out there. And I totally respect these opinions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have my own opinion.
People
Hey,
have
Maddie.
these things. This is Osiris. There's a lot like Anubis in Egyptian mythology, as a keeper of the dead.
Mhm.
You could look at that as like, well, maybe having Osiris around us is a good thing or a way to communicate, or perhaps
Something. Do y'all
it
have
might
a doll?
give us more than
Even though I can't see it, but do y'all have a doll behind y'all? Because I'm getting a pull from this doll, and I want to say,
One.
I keep seeing red hair. What
Red
is with the red hair?
Clown,
Is it Clowny? This one? Clowny's been quite a few places.
or there's a. Is that what you're seeing, or are you seeing
I
a
don't
wild?
know. I'm seeing red hair. And I'm like,
Yep.
Another one.
It's
oh
this
my
one.
god, I don't know why I'm seeing that. Okay, I'm freaking out.
Would it be this one here, Chris?
But I'm seeing.
Her hair is kind of an auburn.
Oh wow.
We have
She's
her.
energy. Let me tell you.
Yeah, we thought this doll might have been responsible for our camera moving a few different times
Yes, we have.
on our
Okay,
different episodes.
okay. I don't know why. Is there something about Virginia with that doll?
Boy, I'll tell you, when I look at her, that name always pops out at me.
That's
So
so weird.
I'm gonna say yeah,
Yes.
but it was only defined just now when you said it.
Yes.
I could almost see that
Yes.
Virginia, like
That's really.
it rang or resonated in some way.
Oh my goodness.
Perhaps that is her
I'm
name.
like,
Hey,
freaking
I think-
myself out. I just cannot believe I just did that.
Oh my goodness.
Let's wind her up and see what she has. Let's-
Oh no. No.
Ooh, that sounds so creepy. Oh my god.
Mm.
That sound, for some reason, I don't like that sound.
Okay, let's not do that.
I don't know what it is.
No, no.
Oh,
Put it up there so you
it's
can
our-
see her face, and her head
we were
is.
talking
her
about
hair
her
is somewhat
face as well.
auburn.
Her face has a weird face. Like you wouldn't see.
This one is.
I don't know. So,
This one is quite interesting. So let's break this one out.
Oh,
This is a little creepy. Now,
wow.
I'm gonna tell you, the color of the porcelain, she was not made intentionally to be a creepy doll or a paranormal doll in any way. This is a doll that was just, for a little girl. And she has this very death-like pallor to her skin, blue. But I think it may be the way the porcelain has worn over time. She's interesting, and I do like the song that she plays. And some of our regular listeners will recognize this one because we've talked about this particular song.
don't tell us, please. I can't watch it.
It's Send in the Clowns, the song from the 70s.
Is it really?
It is, yeah,
I
really.
have been to the
We've
Conjuring
talked
house.
about this.
I forgot.
When we were in the Conjuring house, I had this bright idea to, I was using Clowny that's back there as a trigger object, and our friends were going like, "Oh, what's up with the clowns, Chris? Like, why do you have these clowns?" And I had this experience with clowns as a kid. I said, well, I think maybe we should play Send in the Clowns. So I streamed the song live, and then we started getting all kinds of crazy activity that seemed to relate to the song itself. Very interesting.
That sound, I don't know
Yes.
if it brought some kind of memory, but I'm seeing like oh god, this sounds so weird. I'm seeing like glitter at the top.
Glitter.
Yeah, it has like glitter, and I'm seeing like a design going across. I want to say it looks like pink. The box, it looks white.
Okay.
As I'm seeing it in my mind, it opens up, and I'm seeing a doll attached to the when you face it the other way. She's wearing a pink dress, and she turns.
Mm,
That's
Like a
why
like a ballet dancer.
ballerina
Ballerina.
sent in the clowns. Yes.
Yeah.
It was an amazing
Yeah.
thing.
And that song actually did seem to trigger a spirit in the Conjuring house itself, the house that people talk about. We were in there. It's only like 20 minutes from here, if that. And we were lucky enough to, our friend Shannon invited us out.
Yes.
And we went there, and yeah, their REM pod was just trying to sing
about that
it.
singing.
Johnny says, Adriana is still peeking. Apparently, some people are a little freaked out by the haunted
It's
dogs.
like this. Look, he's like this. He's probably like, I'm not looking. I swear I'm not looking.
Right.
Nah,
This is
but
amazing. I love it. We love having you on. Your energy is just amazing, and you are growing, and we can feel it. We can tell, and it's just wonderful. We love having you on here.
Emery says, I'll try to put together a witch ball and some onyx.
Does it, when you both see me, does the energy feel different from the years before?
Yes, it does.
It
We
feels
were
good.
talking- It is.
And there's nice, and I don't know, man. Yeah, I've always liked you, but it
Yes.
feels like we're connecting it on a bigger level than maybe we did in the past. And I like that.
Yes. Yeah, you're
Comfortable.
very warm and
Yeah.
fuzzy.
You know what's crazy though? It's weird. Maybe it's because I'm happy and everybody says I'm glowing. So that might something that because I'm evolving and I'm ascending, and then and now we're gonna go there. I'm actually gonna go there. What is your perspective? Ooh, I'm actually gonna go there because this is something that's very profound. Don't ask me why I'm being told to talk about it. Maybe some people need to hear this. What does everybody think about twin flames and soulmates? Do you think that there is such thing? And
Yes.
what is your feeling on that? Is that very profound, or because it's very rare from my point of view? So, including everyone in chat, what is your profound on twin flames and soulmates?
I think with the soulmates, it is more on a spiritual level than a physical. And if you reside in a scientific part of the mind, the right side of the brain, it may be hard to decipher what that soulmate is or who he or she is, depending on the person. You know, everything is logic and reasoning. You know, sometimes the emotions have, we're given emotions for a reason, right? We weren't put here to not have emotions, and they certainly keep us alive in a certain way. It seems like the afterlife leans on emotions, where the present 3D matrix like life where you and I are talking right now leans more on the scientific reasonings and this is how you do things and how you pick up a glass or something like it's more about reasoning, where our hearts live in another place. So when we talk about aspects of love, can the idea of a soulmate exist? Oh, I think so, but you have to take yourself out of the logic, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I I think everything else, even believe in reincarnation, and a lot of people think like, why would you believe in reincarnation? Because I think I've always known that I've always like done and always came back. But I think with everything that I'm talking about, that's something that I'm ascending, and it's crazy because I'm reflecting off of certain things, and it's like it's a lot of growth, and there's a lot to process as the years go by. You learn more, and when you kind of just experience things like twin flames or just the cycle of being a Palladian, because I'm a Palladian, by the way. I know that because I was always drawn, and I've always been drawn to Atlantis, so there's a connection there. But all the past,
Atlantis was, Chris, do you have any ideas on that? Some people say it was in the Bahamas, right? Or Bermuda, is it?
It's
Bimini
Bahamas,
Road.
Road.
So other people say
Africa.
yeah.
Africa, and I forgot the name of the. The mountain.
Atlantis and Mu are very interesting subjects. And
Lumeria, yes.
may have existed.
I had a I did a research on it that I don't know how this is connected. But this is what I was told, and I got validation on it. You can probably research it. Somewhere in between, Hawaii was a part of Atlantis. The island. So
Mhm.
that part of Atlantis kind of like broke apart, and everything else sunk. And then whatever was left of it, it surfaced. I don't know why, but somebody had told me that that what I found out when I looked into it without even tapping that I was tapping into it. They said, "You didn't know that," and I'm like, "No, I don't look up stuff." That's the thing about me. I don't like to look up things. I like to get my own impressions, like just with reading, psychic walkthroughs, going to a haunted location. I don't like nobody showing me paper. I don't like anyone showing me the history of the land, the name of the building. Don't tell me nothing. I like going in blind, just not knowing anything. And
That's
then
right.
because the the cycle of what I'm doing, once I'm done and I feel like, I don't feel anything anymore, then you
Mhm.
can the documents, the names, the paperwork, whatever they know, it's then they bring it forth and say, okay, can all this stuff that I said be validated? And 9 out of 10 that I've done things like that have been validated. And and at the end of the reading, this is what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
that's
No,
That's
I
so
awesome.
I'm
agree.
just,
I understand that.
I
Yes.
feel like that unfiltered, whether it's conscious or some intermediary spirit, giving you information. Like you don't want to know too many details because then your brain will start to tell you a story, right? It'll start to like try to piece things together logically. Again, that scientific part of the mind
Yes.
that it helps us here, but doesn't always help us in every way. It might help to survive the world and having the sense to go feed yourself or whatever it is. Doesn't always carry over or translate as well as emotions and sort of this information that might be coming up through your subconscious. So that makes total sense. I know Edgar Casey, he talked about Atlantis, and he talked about Bimini Road before it was called Bimini Road, right?
Mhm.
Before they had discovered this thing, but it was over there and that and it existed, and then they ended up finding all these rocks underwater that make
Right.
this like almost perfect like pathway.
Hmm.
And they call it Bimini Row, right? And I think Atlantis may have been there,
Right.
but he didn't have any information going into that. Like it just came from him, and he said, "Oh, it's over here." And then later, over time, we would find that, and it's possible. There's no definite conclusion drawn there, but at the same time, it's really interesting that it wasn't front loaded with some other information.
Right. And I believe that Lumeria is where exactly you're speaking of, which you just talked about. That's how I sense that. It's where Hawaii, and they, like you said, the islands, it broke apart, and it's almost like Easter Island. And I believe Lemuria was there.
wow.
That may have well been.
What do you think?
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. And that creeps me out because, like I said, I didn't know anything. It was what I was picking up. And I'm like, why the hell am I picking up Hawaii with Atlantis? I'm like, and I told my friends, and I said, and me and my friend Kimmy, there was some other people. I'm like, why the hell am I picking Hawaii up? It's just, it makes sense to me. And then I said, Hawaii was part of Atlantis. And they looked at me like, say what? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Well, on YouTube, there was something about that somehow, this is what gets me, and I still have to figure this out part, that it kind of like made a wave and it
Mhm.
flowed over some of it, and then somehow I guess someone cut that part, and then Hawaii just went on it separate, and then the rest, it's on. And I found out that I don't even remember what to type in on YouTube, but I found out that Hawaii does have a connection to Atlantis. And I thought, That is so weird because is the people in the industry in the paranormal, are they going to tell you that? No, there's just no way. But when I found out about it, it even freaked me out because I was like, I know I was from Atlantis, but it's but it's so weird. Like I do feel that there's more secrets that are
I think so. I think
Past life.
humans in their DNA,
Yes.
right, is
we
basically
agree
just a
with this.
kettle full of different things, and it doesn't all add up or make sense per the history that we know, right? And the history is always changing. A lot of the things we were taught in school
Just-
growing up, it's just proven to not be true, and it changes.
Nobody
The
knows.
planet or there are dinosaurs over here. This week, I just learned this. Actually, we didn't talk about this about what do you call it, plesiosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they think is like the Loch Ness monster could have existed in fresh water. They found some in riverbeds and deposits where this is
wow.
a marine animal, meaning saltwater and out in the oceans. They're now seeing that the same dinosaur lived in fresh water as well. So you look at like the Loch Ness monster is like, could it be real? Could it not be? Well, we got one step closer. Now we know that this dinosaur could have lived in fresh water, where previously it had always been a marine animal, right? So that's interesting. Now the Loch Ness itself is only 10,000 years old or whatever. It was created by the Ice Age, and the dinosaurs actually lived before that. But if one were to survive somehow, some way, now we know a little bit more science where, hey, it could have lived in fresh water. And Steve Auclair, what's up, buddy? How you doing, Steve? Says true. And he's a teacher, so,
Yes.
he's better at this than me.
Yeah, that just makes a lot of
He
sense.
knows these facts.
And you know what is crazy? Because lately, I don't know why, but this is something that I don't know too much about, but I've slowly hearing it from uh, a lot of some of it could be folktale, but we don't know. But I've noticed that there's been a lot of skinwalkers. I just did a reading maybe about 3 months ago, and I kept seeing skinwalkers on the ranch. Okay, and then I told my friends, I said, I'm not really into this, but I have a feeling that somewhere in between that I was gonna get, and I haven't got involved in it yet, but I feel like it's coming. Like now I'm understanding lightheaded thing that I'm feeling. I feel like there's gonna be cases where I'm gonna involve with a dog man.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why I'm feeling that. I feel like it's coming, not right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be the word of mouth when people spread my name out more.
Yes.
I feel like that's gonna be one thing that's gonna be very distinctive. That I'm like, because I've noticed that in folktales, in cryptid, it's like I'm drawn to that stuff. I'm like, where is this stuff that I've never heard of? Why am I being pulled to it? I'm like, And then something else draws me, and this is something we never talked about. The black-eyed children.
Oh yes.
Yes,
That's
yes.
another thing. And I'm like,
Fascinating phenomenon.
that is very profound. And I'm like, are you telling me that I'm going to be doing that kind of stuff? And I don't know. That's scary, right?
Now, when you think about things like the dogman
Yeah.
and such, and the black-eyed children, do you think there may be some shape-shifting involved, like we talked about
Yes,
earlier?
I
So it's
agree
more
with that 100%.
spiritual rather than a physical shape-shifting. Like, do you think it happens on a spiritual level, or does it bleed into the physical realm?
I think some of it, it's weird.
Long fingers and
You know what keeps popping in my head when you talk about the children?
What's that?
I do feel that there is children out there that probably don't even know that they can do this. I don't know if this is 100% sure, but what comes to me is the children of the corn with the red eyes.
yeah. Malachi. Speaking of redheads.
Wow. I don't know where that came from.
Maybe the doll back there. had something to do with it. I'm not sure.
I don't know. That could be a
Hey, I
connection.
think it's possible. He's yeah. Malachi.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a good movie. I love Stephen King, and what a brilliant writer he is to have written as many novels as he has. All still fresh and good. And what a list! My gosh.
It's so weird because I mean I've never fooled around with that kind of stuff, but I have a weird feeling that a lot. And you know what's funny? How you said shape shifting. I don't even know where y'all are doing this. So y'all are telling me stuff that I'm not even aware of. Really? Sorry, they were talking to me. Um,
Okay.
that some of the dogmen and the skinwalkers.
Hey,
I
Liz.
don't know if this isn't respectful. I don't know if this is disrespectful, but this is what I'm feeling.
Mhm.
Something to do with Native American, deep Native American.
Hmm.
It goes deep, and I don't think Native American tribes talk about the stuff that I'm talking about, but I think it goes deeper than what we know of Native American beliefs.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, we agree.
Oh yeah. Hey, some amazing legends in history with the Native Americans, right? And
Go
I
back
believe you
millennia.
are part Native American, no?
I'm Cherokee,
If I'm not
by the
mistaken.
way. That's why I'm being told I'm Cherokee. So there's something, and it's you know what's crazy? Now that I said that, hold on,
Yep.
God, I'm getting that lightheaded. I'm getting that lightheaded shit bad now. Now that I touched that subject, I just got this major hit in my face, like major lightheaded. So that's telling me I'm touching a nerve on something that we're not aware of yet. Hmm.
Hmm. Is it the Native American aspect, the being
Yes.
Cherokee? Maybe something to do with turquoise. I recently watched little information on turquoise and about a blue world, which is supposedly to the Navajo tribe, something that happens before we're in this world. You experience something called the blue world, and I wasn't familiar with that.
Okay, you know what? When you said the name, I think some of it comes with Navajo, is one. The other one is Blackfoot, and a little bit of Cherokee, which is funny because I'm Cherokee. Hmm.
That's right.
True Americans, no question there.
Wow. You know, Chris, it's freaking me out every time. Every time. You should
You
see
can
the stuff I
tell.
do when I'm not doing shows like this. There's never a dull moment when you talk to me. Like if y'all were like in a chat, you would freak out on the stuff that we talk about, and you're just like that's what I'm saying. When you're doing streaming and you're doing shows, I feel that the shows are good for advertisement, but when you get a chance to talk to people, it doesn't do no justice because the things that are brought up just pop out of people's mouth, and you're just like, oh yeah, we're talking about this tonight. And then when we find out more things, we're just like, hmm. Like one night, I'm not joking. There was this maybe about 3 months ago. I think actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. It was about 5 months ago. Okay, I used to stay up at 2, 3 in the morning with this group that we were talking. Somewhere in between, people were coming in and out of chat. Right? I don't even know where this came from, but it came out of my mouth and it was at 2 in the morning. And I said, guys, what is with the seventh horseman? And right when I said that, everybody just stopped in the chat and said, no, don't even go there. And I got like, then I said like maybe 2 names, which I didn't even know.
Hmm.
And it got so deep that they're like, you don't want to channel that. Because they do exist. And it's talking about the 7 horsemen. Some of those 7 horsemen, their names is what we're going through in life. Which I
Interesting.
cannot say. Yes, I cannot say the names.
Please don't.
No, I'm
Nope.
not going there, girlfriend. Trust me.
Nope.
I'm not going there.
Say it out loud. Don't think of it, but get it out.
I'm not
I
gonna go there.
It's the ones we don't speak of.
He who cannot be named.
Yes,
You
the
cannot be. You can't name them.
nameless
cannot
ones.
Yes.
You can't. Because I found out later that there's 7 of them. There's like one that I know about, and is exactly what we're going through. And I said, no. I was like, no. I was like, and then I started seeing images in my head this night, and I said, I cannot. And then I said, guys, tell me if you notice anything. And this was with my friends, and I told them, if you notice anything on my face, please let me know. And right off the bat, they said that they saw like a smirk on my face, and I was like, okay, I gotta get out. I gotta get this damn shit away from my energy. And I'm like, no, 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 no.
To go cleanse yourself and everything right now. After that, but yeah. Take a bath and I don't know what, black onyx. I don't know. And
It's interesting.
holy water mixed with sage oil, and don't do that anymore.
Chris is fascinated with that stuff. He's like, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
No, I went to body fluids and I was like, well, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, no. Oh, dear.
It gets even stranger.
Yeah.
We are the strange. We are the strange. Strange shit happens to people like us.
Yes, we are paranormal.
A barrier, they still come through.
Things happen.
That's it all the time. It's some synchronicity. We don't know frequencies, vibrations with it. It's just that's why we want to know the hows and whys, or highs and wows.
Highs and wows.
Yes.
And Liz Milne from Scotland, right?
Yes, she's
says
from Scotland.
Scotland says hi, and she has to go. But it's early morning over there.
Yes,
they're 5 hours ahead of us. So thank you for popping in and saying hi, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
I guess we're getting in there in time. We probably need to wrap things up. But before we go, Chris, I'd like to ask you what your thoughts are on shadow people. As we talked about dogmen a little bit and those sort of things, it's kind of a hot topic with Kristen and I, and different experiences, especially that she's had. What are your experiences, or what is your understanding of what shadow people are and are not?
I think some of them are Native American. They have a mixture of cryptic. I feel like they shapeshift. They have the ability to shapeshift to where they can be a child, an adult, and many other formats. I'm even being told that they have the ability to even change to certain animals. And then the split of the finger, they come back to human form. So I think some channel people, there's some of them that are meant to help. And then there's others that are meant to just scare the crap out of you. And I do feel that the way they were in life is the way that they're in death. That's why they come out dark. And I think right off the bat, people are like, oh, that's a demon. That's a demon. 9 out of 10, no, it's not a demon.
Negative.
It's just that they killed somebody, or they're a person that murdered, so their spirit doesn't have light in it anymore. So it's kind of just like a dark. And most of the time, when people see dark shadows or dark people, they come in a hoodie form. So you would think, does that have to do with witchcraft, or is this more of a? And it's funny that I said that, because the first thing that popped in my head when you're asking, I got the word occult. So this goes deeper.
Occult, it's hidden knowledge.
Right. Do you think that some of them have never been human? Do you think that there are just entities of some kind of chaotic energy?
Yeah, I don't think that all of them were human. I think maybe like 1 or 2 might be, but I'm not for sure. But I want to say the majority of them, they were not in this existence.
Agreed.
And when we talk about things like non-human entities, do you get the idea that some of them may be like similar to our aliens?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Interdimensional.
Some of them, Yeah, yeah. And you know what stands out to me on that one? Reptilian
Oh man.
is what I see with that. Reptilian is what stands out right when you said that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've
These
heard,
aren't really
you know,
nice.
from some people that reptilians may run the moon, and the moon. I know it sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but when you start to look at the moon, there's all kinds of things that don't add up about the moon. But we don't have time to get
We
them all
could
right
do
now.
it. We should
But
an entire show on the moon
I
because
could
it
do
just
multiple
Yeah, we need to one
on
day. Y'all
something.
can like, let me know, and
skies.
we need to do a show on the moon because I've seen faces on the moon, and I'm not joking. I've always, even when I was little, and it was so weird because you know how the moon always has that white, you know, big, white shape, and it's got the sun design. Well, I would do a test just to see if there was things that were different.
Mhm.
And I would look and look at the moon. And I'm like, it's like a
Well,
space.
it's
It's like a box,
interesting.
right?
A couple things
And
like
then,
the soil doesn't add
and
up
the
to the
next
soil on
day,
the earth, right?
yeah, and the next day I would look and I would see something different.
Oh, okay.
It was never the same.
It's interesting. That's it. Um, what were you saying about the
The soil,
soil?
the actual soil, the samples they've returned is much older than the Earth, and there are all sorts of sightings up there. I mean, what you spoke of, like seeing different faces on there, sounds a little bit more like aeromancy, and
Yeah.
that's when you're like looking at the clouds or the sky, and you're doing a divination from that, and the clouds suddenly mean something, not necessarily look like something
Like
if you're just randomly
pareidolia.
looking, and that's like pareidolia, but where you're actually got to set an intention, and you're saying, okay, what's in store for me tomorrow, and you see some figure in the clouds, or maybe the moon that makes sense to that
It's
story.
a strong manifestation because I do feel that the moon has something to do with psychic intent. Let me tell you, I've always felt, I've always been drawn to the moon. And it's funny that you mentioned that. I do feel that the moon is always something to do with psychic intention. And people that are very, very, very highly sensitive, if you're going to do divination or just any manifestation, be careful what you wish for because you might just get it. And the moon is very powerful when it comes to that
It
because
is very powerful.
you're dealing with not just the moon itself, but you're dealing with the darkness, the unknown.
Hmm.
Be very careful what you say and what you're asking for.
Should always do that though.
I agree.
You
I
always
agree.
be like that. But yeah,
It's
that's
out there. It's a mysterious moon, and
Mm.
people have photographed pictures of the moon and things, green lights and things for many, many years.
some
That,
forces.
and NASA will delete photos.
Oh, don't even
You
get
know,
started with
back in the day, they did this a lot, where there people would start to see things in the photos and they would just disappear. But yeah, for another night, there's lots of
Most
stuff we could talk about
definitely.
with
Yeah,
the moon.
the cat.
And I want to thank you
Yes.
for being on our show tonight. And it's an interesting how synchronicities work. We just happened to say hello this week,
Yes.
and we just happen to be available to have you on this
Yeah.
week. So there you go. Step right in. Thank you so much
And
for
thank you
joining
again.
us. It's been great talking to you again and catching up. And I love where you're going with things, and
Yeah.
that you're growing,
Yes,
as an individual. And
most definitely.
so it's awesome, Chris, and you're always welcome on our shows.
And thank you for supporting that beautiful shirt. I don't know where you get that. Where did you get that shirt from? Who's that guy, Chris?
Sent me in the
I don't
mail.
know who that guy Chris is. Do you know who that Chris is? Maybe I need to give him a call.
Right. I'm sorry I
Absolutely.
forgot mine.
And I want people to know they can find you on Facebook, Chris Garcia. They can find you on your Gmail, and that address is Garcia, GARCIA 187 bluelove@gmail.com. They can call you at 210-974 3470. That's 210-974-3470, and reach you directly and get a reading, and get a really intimate reading where you're going to follow up with the person and you're going to get to know them a little bit. And I love that. I think there's a bigger connection between you and a lot of the people that
That
talk
is
to you
true.
about these things
Yeah, that is so true because I
You know,
mean,
compared
I
to other
can,
people who
yeah,
maybe just
I
clock
love it.
in and clock out, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And we wanted to also thank everybody in our audience tonight, everybody commenting and asking questions. You guys are all wonderful. And thank you for
Yes.
supporting us.
Thank you for coming out
Yes.
and joining the chat and saying hello because we need you guys.
Love you guys.
And you know, we love providing this platform for people like Chris to come on and
Absolutely.
and learn new stuff and things that are outside our normal media. So thank you again so much. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We'll be back on Saturday with Bigfoot and the Bunny, Saturday afternoon, and of course next Thursday, we'll be back here. Actually, I think we got Dr. Michael Lynch coming on next
CMS.
Dark Horse Paranormal podcast. So we'll have lots of interesting conversation. Again, thank you. Have a good and safe week.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.